Alberta brush fires. Fast-tracking through customs and costing Canadians millions.
Just can't stop.
And a deathbed battle against a tobacco giant.
CTV News with Sandie Ronaldo.
Good evening. Forest fires are raging through Alberta tonight. Several people have already lost their homes to the fires, while others are hoping and praying their ranches and livestock will be spared. Unusually warm, windy conditions have helped fuel the flames, and some say the weather phenomenon El Nino is behind it all. The biggest fire is burning near Hinton, about 300 kilometers west of Edmonton. Another fire earlier forced the evacuation of the town of Granham, about 100 kilometers south of Calgary. CTV's Elizabeth Chu has more.
Giant clouds of billowing smoke could be seen for kilometers in the foothills of southwestern Alberta. It was a desperate situation as winds more than 100 kilometers an hour whipped the fire across acres of parched grassland. Farmers and ranchers banded together to save their herds.
Right now, we're just trying to move the cattle to get them away from the direction of the blaze.
Gravel roads didn't stop this blaze. It skipped across roads and a highway, making travel extremely treacherous.
Just preventing people from heading north into the smoke and the haze to try and prevent any more accidents.
The small town of Granham has been evacuated, and a state of emergency has been declared as fire crews from more than a dozen communities try to control this fire. Meantime, a forest fire is raging out of control 20 kilometers south of the town of Hinton in the foothills of the Rockies. It's left this man homeless. He fled when the wind carried flames close to his home. He says it was raining fire.
Fire dropping from the sky, literally. And we run for the truck, for the garage, but the garage just caught fire and the gas tanks are right there, so we just run for the river.
Bulldozers were brought in, and fire crews from 3 different jurisdictions were called in to fight the forest fire. And as in the south, the same unusual conditions prevail here in central Alberta. Winds gusting up to 100 kilometers an hour, temperatures as high as 10 to 15 degrees, and little snow are making firefighting difficult.
Looking at the winter we've had so far, yes, it's got to be El Nino.
Elizabeth Chu, CTV News, Edmonton.
And late tonight, the people of Granham were allowed to return to their homes. Firefighters were also busy battling flames in downtown Vancouver today. A computer shop and eyeglasses store were destroyed in the blaze. Sparks were sent flying when the flames caught hold of electrical wiring. Plumes of black smoke shot up into the sky. Investigators are looking into the cause of the fire. They believe it started in the building's basement. CTV News has learned the government is being cheated out of millions of dollars in taxes on goods coming into the country. A confidential report suggests customs officials are not doing a good enough job inspecting the contents of packages brought in by major courier companies. What's more, with so many packages going unchecked, it's feared the courier system could become an easy pipeline for drug smugglers, if it isn't already. CTV's Jim Munson has more in this exclusive report.
Every day, millions of dollars worth of goods are delivered by couriers into Canada. The busiest spot is Toronto's Pearson International Airport. With so much traffic, there is the risk of false declarations and illegal goods, including drugs being brought into the country. This confidential document from the Intelligence Services Division at Revenue Canada is a damning indictment of what's happening at customs checkpoints. Couriers use what is called a low-value shipment program, a program designed by Revenue Canada to move packages quickly. The report states, "We believe that we lose a minimum of $11 million to a maximum of $445 million in annual revenue due to false declarations in courier shipments from 2 major companies, UPS and Federal Express." The Reform Party's Jason Kenney.
So there are so many different concerns here, from the taxes being evaded, to special treatment being given, to not enough inspections being done, to contraband coming into the country and drugs.
Also in the report, the average examination rate by air and highway was only 1.8% of all low-valued couriered shipments. And it suggests that custom officials are singling out smaller courier companies while the major firms receive faster border clearance. Relatively small players and other companies have been unfairly targeted for examination.
That report as a basis for action is not what we're using right now.
A senior Revenue Canada official dismissed the in-house intelligence report as poorly researched and of little use to the department.
The report, once it was examined more closely by all the users of the report, was considered to be statistically invalid.
Executives at courier companies could not be reached for this story, but with this leaked report, there is an obvious division of opinion inside Revenue Canada on how to fight courier crime on the front lines. Jim Munson, CTV News, Ottawa.
A warning for Canadians hoping for a windfall on some scratch-and-win cards they receive in the mail. Virtually everyone who plays ends up a loser. In order to claim a prize, people must call a 1-900 number. As CTV's Jennifer Fraser reports, it's a call that leaves most people not only disappointed, but also about $20 poorer.
Frank McMillan receives a lot of junk mail at his Brampton, Ontario home. He usually just leaps through it. But this week, Frank and his wife Tina got something that looked pretty interesting.
You're a guaranteed winner when you uncover 3 identical cash prizes.
The McMillans are one of over 3 million Canadian households to receive Santa's Christmas Madness tickets. It's a game card that says you could win $1,000 to $10,000.
I didn't get my hopes up, but I thought, you know, could it be real? I can't just throw it away if there's a possibility.
The McMillans had what appeared to be a winning card, but to confirm, they had to phone a 1-900 number.
In order to receive your cash prize or surprise Christmas...
The McMillans didn't win. In fact, they lost $19.95 on the call. Careful reading of the game card says the prize claim number is one of the pre-selected prize winners, and there's only one grand prize winner. The Ontario Provincial Police Project Phone Busters investigated K Promotions, the Calgary-based company behind the game card.
We recommend to people, if you want to enter the contest, mail your card in, and that way there you avoid paying the $20 charge for the 900 number.